Hey everyone, I am your host Peter Zablocki and you're listening to History Shorts. I hope everyone's having a great day so far and thank you for making this show a small part of that. If you'd like to help me out with a small gesture, please leave History Shorts a rating or a review and click that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. For sources and books used as the basis for these episodes, how to advertise on the show, and other information such as a list of our upcoming guests on the Conversation series, or a link to our Patreon account where you can listen to exclusive episodes not heard here, please visit www.historyshortspodcast.com. Today's episode is brought to you by the Podcast Republic, your ultimate podcast listening app. Discover and subscribe to thousands of podcasts from around the globe, all in one place. Download Podcast Republic now and take your podcast experience to the next level. Having said all of that, few names from antiquity evoke the same mystique, glamour, and controversy as Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt. A queen both revered and hated across centuries of historical retellings. She has been cast variously as a seductive manipulator, a brilliant political strategist, a tragic lover, and an ambitious ruler who dared to challenge Rome's expanding grip. Yet for all the drama and details surrounding her life, Cleopatra's final resting place remains one of the great archaeological mysteries of the ancient world. Despite centuries of speculation and modern expeditions, her tomb has never been found. The search for Cleopatra's burial site is not just a quest for stone and a sarcophagus. It is a journey into history's most enduring enigmas and an effort to separate myth from reality. Here is the rest of that story.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941,
it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Cleopatra died in 30 BCE amid the collapse of her kingdom and the violent end of a love affair with Rome's most powerful men. Her suicide, alongside that of her consort, Mark Antony, came as Octavian, soon to be Augustus Caesar, marched into Alexandria, claiming Egypt for the Roman Empire. Ancient sources tell us that she died by her own hand, possibly through the bite of an asp or via a potent poison, though the exact method remains contested. More intriguing still is what happened afterward. According to Roman historians, such as Plutarch and Cassius Dio, Cleopatra was buried with Antony in a splendid and regal tomb she had commissioned herself within Alexandria. Octavian is said to have allowed the burial out of respect, recognizing that while Cleopatra had defied Rome, her union with Antony symbolized a chapter worth closing with dignity. Yet this tomb, and all of its supposed opulence, has never been found. The city of Alexandria itself poses formidable challenges to any archaeological effort. Much of the ancient city lies buried beneath modern Alexandria, or lost to the sea due to centuries of earthquakes, tsunamis, and gradual subsidence. The royal quarter, where Cleopatra's palace and court were located, is now thought to be underwater in the harbor near the site of modern Quebec Citadel. Marine archaeologists, notably under the leadership of French explorer Frank Gaudiot, have mapped much of this submerged city, discovering statues, columns, and fragments of various complexes. Yet despite all these breathtaking finds, Cleopatra's tomb has remained elusive. The notion that Cleopatra's tomb may lie beneath modern Alexandria is not new. Excavations beneath the city, however, are fraught with logistical and political difficulties. Entire neighborhoods sit atop the ruins of antiquity, making large-scale digs nearly impossible. Still, tantalizing clues have emerged. In 1992, archaeologists uncovered a series of tombs at Qom el-Dika and elsewhere in the city dating to the Ptolemaic period, but none bore any royal insignia. Some researchers have speculated that looters may have ransacked Cleopatra's tomb centuries ago, or that natural disasters buried it beneath reach. Others believe the tomb may have been deliberately hidden to protect it from destruction after the Roman conquest. In the early 2000s, a new theory emerged that shifted the focus away from the center of Alexandria to the nearby site of Taposiris Magna, a ruined temple complex some 30 miles west of the city. The idea was first seriously pursued by Kathleen Martinez, a Dominican archaeologist and former criminal defense attorney, who became fascinated with Cleopatra's story and the contradictions embedded in Roman sources. Martinez proposed that Cleopatra, a shrewd ruler steeped in Egyptian and Greek religion, may have chosen to be buried not in a Greco-Roman fashion, but in a sacred temple associated with the goddess Isis, a deity that Cleopatra increasingly identified with in her final years. Taposiris Magna, which translates to the Great Tomb of Osiris, was an active temple during Cleopatra's reign and featured strong connections to both Isis and Osiris, whose myth of death and resurrection mirrored Cleopatra's final performance on the stage of power. The temple had not been considered a likely royal burial site in earlier scholarship, but Martinez argued otherwise. If Cleopatra saw herself as the living embodiment of Isis and Antony as Osiris, then what better resting place than the temple tied to that divine myth? In collaboration with the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities, Martinez began excavations at Taposiris Magna in 2005. What followed was a series of remarkable discoveries. Over several seasons of digging, her team unearthed a trove of Ptolemaic-era artifacts. Coins bearing Cleopatra's face, statues believed to represent the queen, Greco-Roman funerary masks, and even an intact burial chamber with a mummified couple believed to be of high status. Martinez believes these finds bolster her theory, showing that the temple was in use as a burial site during Cleopatra's lifetime and that it may have hosted elite tombs, possibly including her own. The excitement reached new heights in 2020 when Martinez's team discovered a network of tunnels beneath the temple, including one stretching over 4,000 feet, some of it submerged in groundwater. Egyptian officials called it a miracle of engineering. Could this labyrinth system lead to a hidden royal tomb? Skepticism remains. Many Egyptologists point out that royal Ptolemaic burials traditionally took place within Alexandria's royal district. No ancient source places Cleopatra's tomb outside the city. Critics also note that while the finds at Taposiris Magna are compelling, none directly connect to a royal burial. Some even argue that Cleopatra's tomb may no longer exist in any recoverable form, destroyed by time, looters, or catastrophe. Yet Martinez and her team remain undeterred, continuing to excavate the site year after year in pursuit of what she calls the archaeological discovery of the century. Cleopatra's potential tomb represents more than the burial of a queen. It is a symbol of how we engage with history, myth, and power. The queen herself understood the power of legacy. Throughout her life, she crafted an image that fused Egyptian divinity and Hellenistic glamour. She spoke multiple languages, governed a multicultural realm, and played the political game with Rome's greatest men, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, not as a seductress, but as an equal, or even superior in strategy. Her death at the age of 39 ended a 300-year dynasty begun by Alexander the Great's general Ptolemy I, and with her ended the era of pharaoh rule in Egypt. The Romans have much to gain in distorting Cleopatra's image. After Octavian's victory, the official narrative cast her as an exotic manipulator who tricked noble Antony and threatened Rome's moral foundation. Horace, Virgil, and other Roman poets painted her as both a villain and an enchantress. Cleopatra's own narrative, what she wished the world to remember, was drowned out by the victor's rhetoric. Her tomb, if ever found, may help restore that balance. The artwork, inscriptions, and architecture of such a burial site could reveal how she saw herself, not as a Roman stereotype, but as a ruler, a priestess, and a goddess in her own right. The search for Cleopatra's tomb is also wrapped in broader questions about Egypt's identity. For modern Egyptians, reclaiming Cleopatra from the European and Hollywood mythology is a cultural project. She was Macedonian Greek by descent, but she ruled an Egyptian kingdom, adopted native religious traditions, and spoke the language of the land that she governed. Her tomb, if discovered, would not just belong to ancient history, it would belong to a modern nation's reclaiming of its own past. Meanwhile, underwater archaeology continues off the coast of Alexandria. Frank Gaudio's team, working in the drowned royal quarter, has uncovered breathtaking relics, sphinxes, columns, and shipwrecks that suggest Cleopatra's palace. Some scholars believe her tomb could lie in this submerged landscape, protected for millennia by the sea's embrace. But excavating such a site is an enormous challenge, requiring advanced technology, substantial funding, and international cooperation. Still, with every sonar scan and careful dive, the mystery inches closer to resolution. There is poetry in the fact that Cleopatra's tomb has remained hidden for more than 2,000 years. Like her life, it defies easy categorization, neither wholly Hellenistic nor fully Egyptian, neither lost nor found, neither myth nor pure history. The very act of searching has generated a new kind of mythology, one of perseverance, female-led exploration, and the ongoing dialogue between past and present. Thanks for listening.